Good morning. Today we'd like to do a little bit of training on a Chrome extension called RootsSearch. Now that may sound familiar to you. If you have been to Van Salaya's classes in the last few months, you probably remember hearing him talk about RootsSearch and how it can be helpful in your research. So we're going to go ahead and just do a small demonstration on that just to refresh your memory so that you'll have one more tool in your arsenal to use over Christmas vacation. So the first thing you need to do is get this Chrome extension from the Chrome store. I already have it on this computer, but let me show you what you need to do to find that. First off, you just type in RootsSearch, and I've already typed it in a few times, and it's going to take you. You want to go to the Chrome Web Store, which is the first thing that pops up. And then you can, okay, I've already been to it a couple of times today, so this is what pops up for me. And it says added to Chrome, which means I already have it. If you did not have it, let me show you what you do. Or if you do not have it, you just come up here to see where it says search the store. Type in RootsSearch, and you'll get this page, and you just scroll down, and here under extensions, RootsSearch right here. Now I have a little green banner that says added. You won't have that. You'll need to click on it, and and then it will say add to Chrome. Okay. Now, a couple of other things that you may want to know is at one point there were only a few places that you could start your search. And I usually start with Family Search no matter what, but now, as your home base, you can use RootsSearch even if you're starting on Ancestry, Billion Graves, Family Search, Find a Grave, Find My Past, Genealogy Online, Open Archives, and We Relate. Okay, those are the opportunities, which means that if you're working on Ancestry and you find something, or you want to search something, you can go up to your RootsSearch tool, which looks like this. It's a little magnifying glass, and you can use that even if you're in Ancestry or these other programs, and it will autofill that information from those programs for you. RootsSearch allows you to search on many different sites. Here they are listed right here, and we'll go ahead and go over those in a little bit. So that's how you get that tool. Very easy. We'll go ahead and click out of this. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Family Search. Just in my head, I have a tendency to use Family Search as my home base. Some people use Ancestry as their home base, depending on what they're doing. The preference is up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and look for any other information I can find on Anthony Shaquitis. The little bit, I know quite a bit if you look at the information right here. I would like to know where he was born. He was actually born in Poland, Russia, which you have to know your history to know that that was a whole mess over there by itself. The biggest thing that I have found is I would really dearly love to find a marriage date, because I have these data problems right here. Saying his wife was married before the age of 12, and the birth of their first child was before his wife Anna could have children. So those are a couple of things that I really would like to clear up. I haven't been able to find anything lately on this person, and I did make a family history trip to Pennsylvania and found a descendant, the granddaughter of Anthony Shaquitis. She's 83, and she was wonderful to help me. And I found that actually her grandmother Anna, that looks like she wasn't old enough to get married or have children, may have come to this country under an assumed name and or assumed ages, those kinds of things. And so that is going to be something that I will have to keep looking for. Okay, so just ignore those obnoxious little red marks there and know that I'm dealing with them. I have already searched through these records here: Family Search, Ancestry, Find My Past, and My Heritage. If you'll notice those are partner sites. So what I'm going to do now is I want to search some of these other sites. So the information I have right here for Anthony, is going to autofill once I hit my little magnifying glass up here on the right, and it's processing. And it's going to autofill. Now you'll notice in a lot of searches, sometimes you can fill way too much. And if you find that you're not getting results like you would like or hoping, try playing with this stuff. Take some of this stuff out, so that some of this information out, so that you aren't, totally killing the system and maybe missing things. Okay, now RootsSearch, remember I told you that there were all those sites that you could search on. Normally when it first comes up, it comes up with Ancestry and Find a Grave and Fold 3, Family Search, just a few of them. And then you have this little tab down here that says More Sites. Okay, but I'm kind of the go get 'em girl, and I decided to, rather than I wanted to see all of my options. So when I clicked on More Sites, you will see that I have enabled everything. And like I said, that's just kind of the way I operate. You can do this however you would like. So when you first download this tool, these are all disabled. All you need to do is toggle to enable them. Okay, but that just means then that you've got all of these now listed on this first page. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go back. And I want to take a look, and we're familiar with a lot of these. If you've got New England ancestors, the American Ancestors is a really strong one for you. Find a Grave we're pretty familiar with. Always want to do a Google search. Use your newspapers, newspapers.com and Chronicling America. Genealogy Bank we are familiar with. One that maybe we aren't so familiar with, and then there's Family Search. One that maybe we aren't so familiar with is Macavo. Let's go ahead and try that. So what this is going to do, I'm going to click on Macavo, and it's going to take that information for Anthony Chiquitis and plug it into their database and see what we can come up with. And you can see on the left, if you want to filter, you can also do that. Go through the categories. Right now, we've got the categories all are listed, and we've got all date ranges. But you can play with those filters any way you want. Okay, so we've got the 1940 census, and we've got his Social Security death index. We have to be careful though, because what we're looking at, estimated birth year, this is Anthony Chiquitis, the son. Okay, then we've got Anthony Chiquitis 1902 to 1980. I know that is also the son. This is the one, Anthony Chiquitis 1859 to 1909. Is the one I'm interested in, and this information comes from my tree, and here are his children. So I'm looking down here and thinking, I have all of this information, and sometimes we get a little bit antsy. It's like, okay, well, doesn't look like it's going to give me much that I don't know. Don't forget to go through the pages. Okay, I'm going to go to the second page and see what I can find there. And more. Actually, this is supposedly his wife, but now I'm not so sure of the dates. But I come down here, and here's something that is not in a Family Search family tree. This is an almanac. So, and it has Anthony Chiquitis listed right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on this and see what it has to tell me. Now, I will admit that I have seen this. This was one of those that I had to find in book form about 10 years ago. This is the 1910 Wilkes-Barre Record Almanac for Fatal Accidents in 1909. Okay, 1909, and this also goes through, this takes care of all the fatal accidents that are not in coal mines and not on the railroads, because they have separate lists for those. The other thing you may want to, as you look at sources, or as you look at resources, read the instructions, because this actually explains people killed. To me it says the 1910 almanac, and I'm thinking, okay, people that died in 1910, right? No, people killed in Luzerne County during the year beginning December 1st, 1908 and ending November 30th, 1909. Okay, so I had to have some parameters so I knew what I was doing. Now I know that he died in June, And so I can scroll right down to June. If you didn't know that, if you only knew that he died between those parameters of the beginning of December of 1908 through November of 1909, you would have to go one by one. But I know, and I have gone through this really slowly. It's interesting to read how people die. I know, a little morbid, but it's still interesting. Anyway, so we come to June 1909, and I come down here, and I see this Peter Laconis, a road supervisor in Newport Township, and Anthony Shaquitis, killed by being buried under rock, loosened by a dynamite charge, June of 1923. Okay, and I know from the information that I have that this is my man. So this is a great source. And if you didn't know that almanacs existed, if I had never seen that before, that would be a new discovery for me, and I would be very excited. I'm still excited about it because now I can look at these online instead of making my trip to Pennsylvania and digging through the books like I had to do before. Okay, so that shows that one. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. This is a great site. This is a great tool to look at these different sites. And so if you find that you're not getting results, take out some of this information, okay? Take out, the extra stuff so that you can narrow it down. And it also is really helpful if you can't find common names. I'm learning that Anthony, every person in Lithuania seems to be named Anthony or Peter or Joseph. So if you find that, try to find someone in the family that has more of an unusual name. And just remember all the search techniques that you have learned in the past and apply them and use them with this new tool. So happy hunting!